I think to say that of these this continuing discussion we have this season before and after games about winning Bills scores that would annoy you, 44-32 isn't one of them, probably?
No.
Is this what we all wanted?
I think
bring back those turnovers, baby. Let her rip.
I think so. Chaos. I think we wanted some chaos.
Let's even maybe hope the defense is bad so I can have to go harder on offense.
You might not have to hope.
No, you might not have to hope.
It might just be bad.
It might be the reality.
Yeah.
Football Monday on WGR, brought to you by Northwest Bank. For what's next, get started at northwest.com. Really, though, isn't this kind of what we ordered at the restaurant here for the last month, year, 3 years, whenever it started? That, like, it's basically when Brady took over, mostly, that the Bills went more run heavy.
Mm-hmm.
And here was a game where they could not afford to do that for two reasons. They couldn't run it, and they couldn't stop the Bucs. So go get it. I don't think, though, how they played was really an accident or a byproduct of all that. I think there was some of this that they wanted to do.
Oh, I think that's right. Yes.
New personnel.
Yeah. New personnel, new receivers specifically. And maybe the first clue was last Monday when Brady talked about regretting not trying to throw earlier in the Miami game. Sort of feeling like they had forced the run when Miami was begging them to throw it over them, and they really didn't get the hint. And they ended up, kind of having a futile 3 quarters, really a futile afternoon in its entirety. You could maybe have arrived at they're probably going to throw it on this team. But I don't know how optimistic I would have been thinking about what the results would be because they haven't been able to do that even when they've tried. And the way it started, it didn't start great. Like, no, the blitz.
Uh-oh.
Like what? I've got 2-hand chest passes out of my own end zone for tiny little interceptions, and like, oh no, this is a guy with a reputation. Bowles, the coach of Tampa, with a rep for exotic and heavily blitzing, and so I was pretty nervous about that, but they found it. They got there. They picked that stuff up the rest of the game, and I don't think Tampa was as aggressive as they started, maybe, in the game.
Well, in terms of blitzing?
Yeah.
Maybe. I think the Bills are pretty lucky that coaching-wise, they're not. Game management-wise, they're not aggressive at all. Even Allen throws that, I like how Matt Waldman termed it, that inbounds pass interception.
Right.
In the beginning. And they just ran up the middle twice and then kind of a low percentage pass play. That's the best you got. Don't these teams know who they're dealing with? When they play the Bills, don't they know who they're dealing with? They really don't. Like Mayfield, he's cool. Like he is good and tough and just, he's not running, but now he's running for touchdowns.
Right, he didn't run in weeks.
He's a guy that I don't know about the whole thing, but you can win with him. Don't you think? Like,
oh, yeah.
They're depleted at receiver.
Yeah, I don't think he's not, I don't think he's ever going to be. He had a little dalliance with the MVP odds earlier this year, but that's cooled off. I don't think he's ever going to reside in the top tier of quarterbacks in the NFL, but he is definitely a guy you can win with, and not in like an Andy Dalton kind of way.
No.
I think he's someone who's capable of doing really big things.
He might be top 10.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
So that's good enough for most teams. Do the math, I guess. Most of the league would trade for that, would prefer to have Mayfield at quarterback. So I've got that, but couple of wimpy punts and just, I didn't like that at all from Tampa. This is not at all, of course, if I have to say so, a criticism of the Bills, but they get that pick right away. And yes, this was a game where they ran through the Bills quite often. So they just thought they could do it? Goal line is tougher, though. I don't know. Not impressed. They did the little things wrong in this game that sometimes we end up harping on with the Bills, but the Bills mostly don't. They mostly don't get undone by doing these kind of little things wrong more often than their opponents do. That's not the biggest takeaway from this game. That punt late was awful.
By Tampa, yeah.
7.5 minutes, I'm down 2 or 3 at near midfield, and I'm just going to punt. Why? What do I think is going to happen?
I mean,
I can't get a stop.
I think you know the answer to that.
It's just so bad. I went out for like an hour after I left postgame last night, and I ran into Bucs fans.
Really?
Yes.
All right.
They live on the island, apparently.
What?
It must be the water. They live on the island, and they're Bucs fans, and we started talking about the game. I'm like, you know what? If I were you guys, wouldn't I be ticked at this loss? I mean, it was a fun game, and you were close. But
9 lead changes.
Would this game bother you? And they're like, absolutely. And then I was thinking of a tweet I saw from Maggie Gray, or was that from this morning? Whenever there was a tweet that I'm thinking of it now, where she asked people if they enjoy watching their favorite team. Like, if you're a Tampa fan, it might have been a fun afternoon, but
I don't know.
I
didn't enjoy most of yesterday.
No,
I was really tense most of yesterday, and I don't like admitting that, but that's what losing to Miami will do for you. You start thinking like every crisis is because this era of the Bills has been mostly I'm just expecting them to get it done when I sit down to watch a game. Even if they're losing, I just think, all right, they'll just do the thing, and I'll have to talk about how bad they were, but they won. That's basically what I'm often thinking when the game is not in hand for them, but. You lose a couple, and you've got a consistent problem in one specific area, passing game, a pretty significant area to be deficient in, and that leaves me feeling pretty tense. Until the Bills pulled away in this game at the end, I was uneasy. So I would imagine Bucs fans, I mean, they didn't get to pull away at the end. They ended up losing in a game that they were ahead in the fourth quarter. So I would be annoyed. I think probably.
Not a huge game, although they are only now a half game ahead of Carolina somehow in the NFC South. 803-0550 for your thoughts. Football Monday. Does this game, even to a certain extent, satisfy to all the people who are all the time annoyed with how the Bills play? So they benched Coleman. And it didn't take long at all in the post-game press conference for Sean McDermott to get questions about Keon Coleman. He didn't really want to say that much about it. Ultimately, later in the press conference, this is last night, he says that the ball's going to find the guys who work the hardest, words to that effect. And so they're playing on Thursday night, 44 points. Allen, 3 passing, 3 rushing. Do you think they'll do anything?
And all the guys that you could, Shavers has been playing pretty regularly anyway, but I assume he got more reps because of no Coleman in this game, and he paid you off. Davis paid you off. Even McCole Hardman, he made a mistake, but he also jump-started you with a kick return early in the game and, did the thing, ran one deep pass that was missed. But did you happen to notice, I was looking at already, the cut-ups are making the rounds. That play, Allen throws it to Hardman. He's open enough. So he ignores Shakir. You want wide open? Watch the overhead shot of that play. Because Shakir runs like a crosser about halfway between the line of scrimmage and where Hardman ends up. And there is no one around him for miles. Because the speed, Hardman comes streaking up the field and pulls a second DB out of that area to go with. Now, I don't know if the guy noticed where the ball was going by then or what, but it's just the speed. I think they got paid off by making the changes they made, specifically Coleman getting benched and Davis getting elevated and Hardman being in the lineup. We'll see if he's healthy. Short week here, and he did injure himself and make a pretty big mistake. But I'm not eager to run Coleman back out there right now.
Why would they do it?
Right. Unless it's just simply numbers and he's the next guy that would be up if something is wrong with Hardman.
Man, it was tough yesterday with McDermott. He was asked who wouldn't have played if you'd played Coleman, and he wouldn't answer. I think you saw the game. Simple question. Maybe he obviously doesn't want to answer it, or else he just would have. But who wouldn't have played if you had played Coleman? Well, I think you saw who was out there.
What's
the answer, though? I wonder what the answer is.
It's either,
Hardman plays.
Either Hardman or Davis, I think, are the guy. Because Shavers, we've talked. I guess maybe Samuel, but Shavers is locked. He's locked in because he plays all those special teams roles, and there's not another receiver on the team that does that. So he is not coming out. With or without the touchdown catch, but now with it, it's all the more he's going to be in the lineup. So I think it's one of the two guys that came in or Samuel.
I think I don't know if this is right, but for all of this receiver stuff and passing game stuff, it really could not have been much of a better day because not only did you light it up, but you did it through different guys. And if you look at the route percentages from yesterday, you know who ran the most routes for the Bills yesterday? Knox. Oh, okay. Like, would that not surprise you to hear like Knox was the most frequent route runner on the team yesterday? 82%. Shakir was 68%. Nobody else was over 50. All the other guys were here and there. Shavers, Samuel, Davis, Hardman. Is that the whole list? I think that's the whole list. Mm-hmm. All of them, I saw this from J.J. Zacharyson today, each one of those guys, those four guys, ran either 15 or 16 routes. I wonder, we always talk about this, wonder about this kind of thing with the Bills since they got so good, is how much of what they're doing is sort of a test balloon. We want to see this player try this. And, a couple of these touchdowns are, I don't know if you'd call them broken plays necessarily. The Shavers one has got to be called that.
Sure.
Johnson, maybe not. But sort of like,
Yeah, no, that's a design. That's a design play. The Cook play is a design play. The Johnson play is it's a swing pass, screen pass. They got receivers out there to block, and it worked perfectly. Yeah, Shavers, though, was a kind of a scramble.
On Shavers, Allen said, I think after the game, he probably should have thrown the ball to one or two other guys.
Yes.
On that play. So you got to see what all these different players can do. Davis for the first time back. And then, Shavers has been playing, but still elevated role. Samuel and Hardman for the first time ever. So you get to see some of what we can work with if you're the Bills, going forward. But Knox at 82%. No Kincaid.
Right.
Remember him?
Yeah.
No Kincaid in this game either. And that makes sense that Knox would be on top here. So, or at least in terms of tight ends. And, credit to me for starting Jackson Hawes in a league.
Oh, good work. Yeah.
0.0.
Yeah. I don't even think you got a target.
Yeah, well, you win some, you lose some. Usually you lose. 7-3 now. Huge win. If it's a loss here, then we're kind of in Chiefs territory now. It's like, all right, well, we're almost to Thanksgiving. Now what? Would you forget about the division? Kansas City, 9-2, 5-5 is the difference there. And you've got the Chargers in between for what it's worth. So at what point do you sort of give up on the division? I think a loss yesterday would have gotten me there. Now it's just get in time. 6-4. Mm-hmm. And I've got the Chargers and the Jaguars and the Chiefs and the Ravens and the Steelers and the first place teams, right. Even Houston. I've got a lot of traffic. But with this win, I'm not there at all.
Yeah, I'm two games clear of the teams that are out right now is where I am. So I've
beaten two of them.
Right. If I don't catch New England for the division, I'm at least in, as long as I don't end up on the rocks here again, they're in a pretty decent spot right now. Not ideal, obviously. You'd want to be in first place. Last year at this time, we were getting ready to switch to glide as far as the division goes. They clinched on December 1st. We're only a couple of weeks out from that, for crying out loud. That's how well last year went. So you still have to catch up, but, the only way you can do this is keep winning and hope you can get to week 15 with a chance to, at worst, tie them, maybe find your way to pass them, but with their schedule, that doesn't seem real likely. That you could pass them in week 15,
No, but that should be a great day. New England, that rematch, that's really good. There's going to be a lot riding on it. First things first is this game Thursday night in Houston. C.J. Stroud, there should be news on that any minute on him. As of earlier today, reportedly had not cleared concussion protocol, but they practice today and tomorrow, and there'd still be time for him to do so and start against the Bills. Does it matter?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, he's the most talented guy they've got. I mean, I know it's been a lot bumpier since his rookie year when he kind of really took the league by storm, but if you're asking me do I care whether I got to play C.J. Stroud or Davis Mills on Thursday? I'll take Davis Mills, thank you. So yeah, I think it matters. I'm not exactly on edge. There's nothing I can do about it. There's no need to be intense about it, but I'm very curious to see what his status is as the week unfolds.
Get to know Woody Marks, I guess. Took over the backfield yesterday. They survived in a game against the Titans. Bills are up to a 4-point favorite, even 4.5 I saw in one place against the Texans on Thursday night. Watching Bet Sweats today. That's how I get a lot of my information about point spreads. Some of it's just like sort of I think of it and then I check my app. And some of it is from watching Sam and Joe. And Sam had a quote, the other side of this coin here with the Bills, that we definitely should have gotten to by now. He had a quote today that I made a note of here for our show. Quote, how many Super Bowl teams can't get stops? Sam Panayotovich, November 17th, 2025. Like, he's invested in the Bills. He tells us every Friday. Yep. Like, that's his Super Bowl bet. And their conversation about the Bills today was more like, it's not the most confidence I've ever had in a team.
Yeah, no. I mean, this came up yesterday, and I think I plainly said to a caller who asked, like, this is not a Super Bowl winning defense right now. Like, they are not playing like a Super Bowl winning defense. What can change? I don't really know. Like the only reinforcement you're looking at this point is Ed Oliver, and that isn't until the playoffs and maybe even into the playoffs. And that's it. Like as far right, the trade deadline's come and gone, and they grabbed a guy off waivers or whatever off a practice squad. Fox, maybe he plays some role, but there's not a difference maker rolling through the door at any point here. So they're going to have to figure out what they're doing with who they've got. And I think that gets trickier all the time. They got TJ Sanders, who hasn't really done much at all when he was healthy earlier in the season as a tackle, playing largely at defensive end yesterday. And that didn't seem to bear a lot of fruit as far as stopping the run goes anyway. So I think they're trying things. Dorian Williams, I think, did get some reps, as Eric Wood suggested 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago when Hoyt first got hurt. That maybe Dorian Williams can be someone to turn to in that kind of role. And I think he did a little of that yesterday. So they might be, at this point, they don't have a lot of time to just tinker. I mean, they got to win these games. But they are probably turning over every stone they can to try to find an in-house solution to a consistent problem, which is stopping the run. I mean, there are worse things to be bad at, I think, in the NFL. I would say being bad against the pass is one of them. But still, I mean, if a team can just do that to you repeatedly, I mean, you're gonna have a tough time.
I know. Yeah, almost everybody on the defense at one point or another yesterday was like, oh, no. Milano early in the game was like, oh, no. Getting sort of walled off by a tackle. I mean, whatever. He had some good plays. Bernard is another one like, oh.
That is not a healthy looking football player right now to me. Like there was a bad moment for him chasing someone to the sideline that was just
Mayfield.
That was right. It was Mayfield. That's right. That was really tough to watch.
Mayfield just blasted around him on the edge to the sideline.
And he just could not even close the gap on him.
Right.
He really is laboring, I think. He must be fighting through something.
We talked about Poyer on postgame. I mean, it's kind of incredible that he's on the field for them right now, but 15 tackles? You don't want that, but at least he did that.
Made them,
for you.
Right.
Other times, one of the Tucker touchdowns is like, goodbye.
Yep.
It's concerning, but then you get that kind of an Allen game, and all is well. Well, on that side of the ball, at least, most fans have to feel a lot better, I think, knowing that that's still a club in the Bills' bag.
Yeah, encouraging was the word I used yesterday. What was yesterday? Encouraging. Because they found a way to do a thing that they have had a lot of trouble this year doing. When they have felt even in games where they haven't needed it, the passing game has looked just sort of sloppy and not in sync. And you think to yourself, man, when I need this, because I'm not always going to get 7 yards on first down, like as a rule.
Funny thing.
And so, running it, I mean. And so they're going to need it. And yesterday was really, they had a very good plan and an effective day moving the ball through the air against Kansas City. But I think yesterday was even different than that. Just because it was pushing it down the field. There's a rather long list for the Bills this year of guys who had 20-plus yard receptions in this game yesterday. And that has not been happening much at all.
Eric Wood.